Hey ladies, we have a good one for you today, I promise. In this episode, we sit down with Alicia, a first-time mom whose journey into motherhood took her by surprise. After a whirlwind start in a pregnancy plagued by unexpected events, she discovered a deep trust in herself that led to a dream birth. She opens up about navigating breastfeeding struggles, deepening her intuition, and how the reality of motherhood is reshaping her career goals. I can't wait for you all to hear such an inspiring story of resilience, growth, and transformation. So let's get into the episode. Welcome to The Rooted Mama, the podcast where motherhood meets wisdom, support, and empowerment. I'm Destiny, a mother on a mission to help women embrace a healed and fulfilling version of motherhood. Whether you're planning for your first baby, navigating pregnancy, or already deep in the parenting journey, each episode features real conversations with women in every stage of motherhood, insights from experts, and practical tips to help you feel grounded and confident. Hi, Alicia.
Hello, Destiny.
I have some questions for you. They're supposed to be easy questions, but everyone keeps saying that they are not easy. Okay, so keep that in mind before we start. The first one is, if you had to choose, so this is a choice, okay? So if you had to choose between giving up coffee, you drink coffee, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you had to choose between giving up coffee or singing every word that you say for the rest of the year, which one would you choose?
If I had to give up coffee or sing everything that I say.
Everything. Like I have to poop.
I would give up coffee.
You would give up coffee. Okay. It's pretty even.
It didn't feel like a hard question.
For some people, it's been hard. Okay.
Mm.
I feel like it would be hard for me. I mean, I don't drink coffee, but I was using like snacks for others who I know who don't drink coffee. And I feel like I would just choose to sing. Even if it wasn't about the snack, I just think it's hilarious to sing every word that I say.
I think I would drive myself and everyone else around me crazy. But I do rely on a lot of coffee.
Okay.
To the point where I was wondering if there was a correlation between Nyla not sleeping and my caffeine intake. So I have reduced my caffeine intake by about 50%. I've been supplementing like half caffeine.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll do like half regular, half decaf. And I did think that there was a bit of an improvement. So I would give up coffee. I would give up coffee just to get my kids to sleep.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, next one. What is, and this is going to be a good one because you're a first time mom. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What is the strangest thing that you've Googled in the middle of the night? Like I'm talking 3 a.m. What are you Googling?
Oh, I don't Google a lot in the middle of the night.
Oh,
I don't, which is funny because I try not to touch my phone because I don't want to screw up any sleep that I'm actually getting.
That's
but
good.
Nyla did have her first temperature over Christmas and she was breathing really fast. So I was like listening to her breathing and she was like kind of going every time. So I started Googling, excuse me, and I scared the shit out of myself. So I try not to do that. And I did it one time and it was
the worst.
It was just about that. Yeah. I have looked up like the poop colors more than once. And the other weird thing would be like breast milk color. I went into like a huge deep dive and I don't think it was at night. Like I said, I don't touch my phone at night. But just like about the different color of breast milk and why.
Yeah.
And if it affected her poop color.
Wait. So tell us about this breastfeeding color. I mean, I know that there's different colors, but what did you learn?
Yeah. So my milk was very blue. It had like a very strong blue tint to it, and her poop in correlation was like green colored.
Ooh.
Like very, so it went from like mustard yellow to like green.
Yeah.
And what I learned through my research and talking to a doula who helped me with lactation after birth was that like it's mature milk that's like sitting in my breast. So she
Yeah.
suggested either shaking, like literally like shaking my breasts before I feed her to like to like mix up the milk. Super funny. Or feeding from one side for like a prolonged period of time. So like not switching off,
Mm-hmm.
and just feeding from like one side to kind of drain out the mature milk that might be a different color.
Yeah.
And I started doing that and her poop went back to normal. So
Interesting. I have never heard about this before. I
mm-hmm.
heard like if you're sick or your baby's sick, sometimes the milk will change colors
Mm-hmm.
too, but I never heard about the mature milk, so we
Mm-hmm.
learned something
Mature
today.
milk. Yeah.
Okay, so you are talking about a baby. So I think it's important to introduce yourself. So who are you? Do you have a partner? Do you got kids? What's going on with your
Mm,
life?
yeah, I am Alicia. I have an amazing husband. I've been married to him for not long enough, two almost 2 years, and we have a beautiful
May.
baby. Yep, in May, and we have a beautiful baby girl that was born in June. So she's 7 months old right now, and she's crazy. She's awesome. She's crazy.
She's
She
so cute.
is, yeah,
And
she's
she's like
beautiful.
perfectly the mix of the two of you.
hmm I never really wanted to have kids until I met my
Mm.
husband, and then I wanted to have a child with him because I very specifically wanted to see how our genes would combine, and we did good. We did really
You
good.
guys did really good.
Yeah, she's great.
Okay, so I met you. I know your job has changed, but when I
hmm
met you, you had a pretty cool job.
Yeah,
And can you tell us about what you do? What's your
I
job?
am a I'm a graphic designer by trade. When me and Dee met, I was designing games, which was super cool. But
Yeah.
I've since moved on to like the hair tool industry, still a graphic designer. But I have goals of being a stay-at-home mom. I want to raise my child. I don't want anyone else to raise her.
Whoop,
So
whoop.
we're
I love
working
it.
on that. Yeah.
What are some of the games that you designed?
Specifically Clue game.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. But I feel
Yeah,
like you had the other
Clue.
ones too. Because I saw like when
And
you have like that collection in your room, you didn't do
mm-hmm.
all the other ones either? Or they
Oh,
just,
I've done a lot.
yeah.
Mostly Clue, though. Most of
Okay.
my career was in Clue. That's a different lifetime, I feel like.
Yeah, it was so different. I mean,
Mhm.
it's amazing how much you've changed, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted you on
Yeah.
because your story is really powerful. So, I want to start with you and your husband got married May 2023
Three.
or
Yeah.
2023. And
hmm
when I met you, when we were friends, you were totally against children, but you did
hmm
say you'll give him one child.
Yes.
You're like, I will do one.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we walk through, you guys get married, and then we walk through the summer. And then by like the end of the summer, you were pregnant. So
Um,
let's talk about this.
yeah. I think around when you probably were either like had given birth or were pregnant. I said probably one time I was like, oh crap, I might have baby fever. And then the next thing I knew it, I was pregnant. Like
It was really
literally.
fast.
So I got pregnant on September 15th.
hmm
I took a test with you on October 11th. Remember that?
Yes, I remember
And
that.
it was negative. It was negative.
Yeah.
And I thought I was like completely off the hook. And then on the 25th, October 25th, I took an ovulation test and a pregnancy test at the same time, and they were both like so positive. They were so positive that I had to Google what positive meant because they were so positive. I was like convinced that they were negative. Like I was like, this can't be true. Like negative, obviously. And I think I FaceTimed you and I was like,
Yes, you did.
Can you just,
well, and
just confirm?
You like looked at me and I couldn't hear you because I was in Target and I was like, I'm sorry, I can't.
With your mom.
I'm like, I can't hear you. And then you just showed me the test and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So it was a surprise.
I am still in disbelief that I was pregnant, to be honest. Like, it took me probably 6 months to be like, okay, I have a baby growing inside of me. I am going to birth this baby and then I'm going to take care of it for the rest of my life. And it took me like a really, really long time. And it took me a really long time to get excited. Like, even at my baby shower, I don't think I was excited. Like, I was still like, holy shit, I can't believe that I'm having a baby. Like, it just, yeah. And it makes sense because it was so life changing having a baby, being a mom, having the same life that I had, and then like adding a baby to it. It's just, it's completely it's life changing. That's and we've said it for the last 7 months. There is no book, podcast, friend, parent, anyone that could tell you anything. Nothing. They could give you a diary from 7 a.m. to 12 a.m. every single day of a child's whole life. And like, you still wouldn't understand what it's like to be a parent.
Yes.
You still wouldn't be prepared.
Yes.
and
it's nothing like it in the world. There's nothing like it in the world.
And it like makes me respect parents in a different way.
Yeah.
It makes me look at people and I'm like, wow, you have a functioning, smart, kind child. Like, you did something right. Like,
yeah. Oh,
it's the hardest thing that I think you could ever do. And, you know, I didn't think I wanted to be a mom for a really, really, really long time. And now I think you've said this to me before, like, every woman should be a mom just because it changes you. And maybe some people for the better, maybe some people for the worse, but like for me, it definitely was for the better.
Yeah. Wait. Okay. Why didn't you want to be a mom? What was it that, because I think this is important because there is such a character arc that happened.
Yeah.
And if we could talk about like, what were some of the things? I mean, you don't have to, but I mean, I know I didn't want to be a mom for a long time. I have my reasons, but
yeah, I'm going to just say it like very bluntly, I think. And like, I don't like people. Like, I don't like a majority of people. I think people are rude. I can be rude sometimes. Like, I can be a huge asshole. Like, but the majority of people, especially where I grew up and where I live, are not nice people. They're not kind people. Like, they're
mass holes.
Mass holes, like, you know, just living for themselves, bumping into people in the grocery store, whatever. When I met and married my husband, I was like, you are the type of person that I want more of in this world. So like, let's procreate so we can like make a cool, fun, nice person.
Yeah. Is your husband from Massachusetts?
No. Not from Massachusetts. He's from Ohio. He grew up in a different culture than me, you know, very different. And once I left my own family in my own four walls and like saw kind of what else there was and what other type of people there were, I definitely was like, okay, I could do this. And we did.
Yeah. So how was pregnancy for you? Like, this podcast obviously is supposed to kind of help inform information wise, and you are perfect for this podcast because there are going to be people who are like you, who like don't know anything. And like you said, no one can prepare you. Like, no one is ever going to be able to show a mother what a mother's life is. But I do feel like you did a really great thing. Like, before Nyla even showed up, I feel like you as the future mother was already doing things that so many women don't do. And so walk us through pregnancy and kind of like where you were. We know where you are, where you started, but then as it progressed and like you've accepted that this baby's coming, how did this go? What were your sources of information and all that stuff?
Yeah, I found an awesome doctor who I trusted fully. Like he was great. I totally trusted him, and I also learned about the doula community in Rhode Island and Rhode Island's insurance, a new insurance policy that covers a doula. So I went like all in on that immediately.
Mm-hmm. So they 100% cover doulas in Rhode Island.
Yep.
Ooh, I didn't know that. I didn't realize that. That's awesome.
Rhode Island insurance. Yep. And I've told every new mother that I know, I'm like, listen, even if you don't want one, get one.
Yes.
Like, get connected, because they're not a doctor. They are literally just someone else on your team, and they're just there for support. So I found a doula. I took her evidence-based birth class, which was really helpful. In hindsight, I need like an evidence-based motherhood class. Like the birth was like such a small piece of my journey, I guess, like pregnancy to motherhood, being a mother for 7 months. Birth was like literally an 8-hour blip for me. Yes. So I spent, 8 weeks taking this course, reading the book, watching the videos, and for it to be gone and like it just went by so quickly.
Yeah.
And the evidence-based birth class also goes over, like, I don't know, sleep training and breastfeeding and stuff. But in the moment before birth, it was just like in one ear, out the other. Which it was crazy, because I remember sitting with my lactation doula post-birth, and, I was like, I don't know what to do. And she's like, didn't you take the course? And I was like, lady, yes, I watched the videos and like listened to the doula talk about it, but like I've never had a baby trying to latch onto me. Yeah. So I'm sorry that I don't have that experience. So like obviously you're here to help me. And she did. Like we figured it out. We are fantastic at breastfeeding now. But
hallelujah.
My point of that was preparing for birth, took evidence-based birth. And it all was very helpful, but I had a very easy birth. Especially compared to my pregnancy. Yeah. So my pregnancy, I didn't have any complications, but I had high blood pressure and carpal tunnel. Oh my God. Unbelievably.
I totally forgot about that. Okay, go ahead.
I had the worst carpal tunnel. Like I couldn't even sleep at night, which I used to joke when I would wake up every 2 hours, go into the kitchen, empty an ice tray into a bucket, fill it with water, and then submerge both my hands into the ice for, I would try to do it for like up to a minute until my hands were like basically numb. And I'm like, I'm just practicing for contractions right now. And waking up every 3 hours, I was like, oh, I'm just practicing to have a baby. So, when I think back to pregnancy, I think like stage 1 was denial. When I finally accepted that I was pregnant and like was trying to get excited, prep her room, all of those things, I couldn't do anything. I could barely wipe my own butt, unfortunately, because I was in so much pain, numbness, tingling. So that was like a huge part of my pregnancy. And then I finally got cortisone shots for that, and they got better. And then I just like prepared for birth. That was like literally like room ready, packing my bags, like stretching, hydrating was one thing that I focused on when I hit like 36 weeks. I think I just drank like a ridiculous amount of water.
Yes, good.
To prepare for this birth that I was expecting to be 48 hours of torture, because that's like what I had been prepared for.
Yes. Not
only from like the evidence-based birth classes and the doula, we had checklists that was like bring a million things, like you were moving into the hospital room because you were going to be there for a week, right? You're going to be laboring for 2 days, and then you're going to be recovering for 2 days if you're lucky to not have a C-section, right? So we were like completely prepared. to be in the hospital for so long. We literally moved in and I pushed her out and basically went home. So
wait, okay, I have to stop you because
yeah.
this I like want to jump up and down and turn around and do all these things. And you already did because you told me the birth story before. But
Yeah.
I want you to tell your birth story. I need you to do it. But I just want to say this. When you said you did all this preparation for the birth, like just preparing for blah, 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 blah. And you said the birth was like the easiest thing and then motherhood, whatever, which is true. It is not true for so many women.
Yeah.
And it's often because they don't do what you did. Like
Yeah.
there's so many things that it's so hard because I just had this.
Right.
And I had this conversation with another woman who will be on the podcast who had the opposite reaction. So like she wanted to have kids and stuff. But then when it came to the birth, she just wanted the baby to get out. Like she didn't do any other things. And she was actually like pretty afraid of the process and stuff. And then she had the birth that you were preparing for. She had that birth, right? And I feel like birth is supposed to be really easy. It's supposed to be what you experience, especially if you go into it not being afraid. Like all of those things go into it's like your subconscious and all of that exposure that you had to it and all this preparation, all this stuff, it's stored in your body. Like your body is storing this. You're preparing for all these other things. And then when you go into it, you don't have to do any of those things. Your body is actually like not afraid.
Right.
Yeah. So like,
and okay,
go ahead.
So your original question was like, how did I prepare? And I just like asked a lot of questions to my doctor, my doula, and to my friends, and like the women around me who have had children. And most of them have been C-sections. And it's funny because like everyone that I talked to, I was like, I don't want an induction. I don't want to be induced. I will go to 32 weeks pregnant as long as they'll let me do it because I cannot see past the correlation with my friends and family between induction and C-section.
Oh, hallelujah.
So
moment of silence. Because let this sink in, ladies, whoever is listening. Like I'm a crazy birth junkie, right? Okay, so I say
I'm just
these
like
things.
A normal person.
She's a regular person.
I'm a regular person who like didn't want babies. Didn't care about my friends when they were didn't care about them, but like just like, oh yeah, you had a baby, oh you had a C-section, that sucks. And it was the same thing every single time.
Yes, and so like you had that connection.
C-section.
Exactly.
And every time I went to my doctor, I said, Dr. Morton, I do not want to be induced. And my blood pressure was high there, so he would say to me, okay, so what are we going to do to get your blood pressure down so you don't have to get induced? And it was all connected to my pain and my carpal tunnel. So as soon as my pain went down, my ankles were swollen at that time too. Everything went away. Like I was like, Destiny saw me.
I remember
2-3 days before I went into spontaneous labor, and I was like, I hadn't felt that good since before I got pregnant. Like I was like, I feel great. Like I felt so good once I got all those things figured out. Anyway, so I was like, I don't want to be induced. I want this baby to come naturally. I am a woman through and through. Like, big titty, little waist, big ass. Like I am like, very feminine. So I was like, I am made to do this. I want to see what my body can do.
Yes.
And I meant that breastfeeding, birth, all of that. Like I want to go into labor. I want things to happen naturally. I had like a very low, what do we call it? Low intervention birth. So
go to the birth. But before you go to the birth, I will say this, like what you're saying, I'm going to kind of like summarize, is that you had a trust of your body, right? That's what this kind of comes down to. So even if you didn't have all the knowledge that I have, like swirling around in my head about all this stuff, at its core, it's not about how much information you know. It's about trusting your body. So you said, I'm a woman. I was created to do this. And I'm going to see what this body can do, right? And you did learn stuff, but at its core, it's a trust in yourself. It's a trust in your body. And I just wanted to like let it sink in, because people look at like these birth people and they see all this stuff on the internet, TikTok, and there's doulas and they're talking about all these big words, and I'll never learn all this. Like I'll never learn all this stuff that people know about pregnancy and birth. You actually don't need to learn all these things. I mean, you need to learn some things to be able to know that induction tends to lead to C-section. If you don't want a C-section, you don't want to get induced. But there's other things that really just come down to a core trust of yourself. And then after that, like knowing what you like, what you don't like, what you know is going to bother you, what's not going to bother you. It's way more important than learning all of these facts. Because at the end of the day, you could go into that birth and they might present something to you that you were never prepared for, wasn't in the class. But if you and your husband have common sense and know, like if you say, okay, what does that entail? And they're like, oh, we're going to put a screw in your baby's head. And you're like, I'm not getting a fucking screw in my baby's head. Right? Like you'll say, well, that doesn't feel right to me, and then go from there. So it doesn't actually have to mean that you know all of these things. Okay, so tell us about your birth. I was blessed to be able to come and see you before, and I knew it. That's why I had to come to you. I had a dream about it. I saw a woman. Well, it was my cousin, but in the dream, I knew it wasn't my cousin. It was someone else. And they had a little red fox with them. And it was like a little red fox. And when I looked at the face, it was like a very like baby-like face. And when I woke up, I was like, I need to go see Alicia. Like I just kind of like knew. So as we're driving, I took my daughter with me. We're driving, and on the road to your house, there was a restaurant with a red fox on it, like a picture of a red. I was like, we're going in the right direction. And then when we got there, and you looked amazing, like no more swelling. You were like squatting and playing with my daughter. And I was like, you're about to have a baby. And you're like, it's going to take weeks.
Oh yeah. I was convinced. I hadn't had a contraction. I hadn't experienced Braxton Hicks. I hadn't had any leaking. No, nothing. And every doctor's appointment, they ask that, right? Are you this? Are you that? Are you leaking? Are you cramping? Have you had contractions? And I'm like, no. Yeah. Every single time I was like so curious at, I think 36 or 7 weeks when they usually do a membrane check. And I was just like, I want to know, like if I'm dilated at all, I want to know now. And he stuck his hand. So he was like elbow deep, and he was like, no, not dilated at all. And
oh my gosh,
you're still up there. And I was like, dude, I knew that.
Yeah. Wait, so okay, where were you when I can't remember, was it 37 or 38?
It was 38 weeks.
Okay.
So at my 38-week appointment, me and my husband were sitting in the waiting room waiting, and I was like, I'm a little crampy. It's like very light cramps, and I was just like, I don't think it means anything, but I'm just gonna say it out loud. Go into the doctor's office and say the same thing, no bleeding, no nothing, just
no signs of labor. Yes.
No signs of labor. They did not check me. We just, discussed it, and we went on our way. And every time there was you'll know when you're in labor. So me and Troy ran an errand, and you were like standing in the UPS door, and I was like, whoa, I'm very uncomfortable. I would like to go home and lay down. So we came home.
What time was this?
4 p.m.
Okay.
4 p.m. on a Tuesday, Monday. I don't know. So I came home and I went and laid down, and I got comfortable, legs in between my pregnancy pillow, could not get comfortable. My husband was in the bathroom, and he takes notoriously long bathroom trips. And about 15 minutes went by, and I started timing what felt like contractions. I was like, I haven't had contractions yet, but I think these are it. So I texted him. I was like, I think I'm having Braxton Hicks. I'm just FYI, I'm really uncomfy. So I started tracking it on the, what's the app that we were using? What's the pregnancy app? You use the same one.
Ovia?
Ovia.
Okay.
So I pulled up their contraction counter, and they were immediately 1 minute contractions, 3 minutes apart for 15 minutes. And we were like, oh shit, this is what they warned us about. Okay. Yeah. So Troy texted our doulas the funniest text in the world. Like something, he like introduced himself. I was like, Troy, they know who we are and they know what's going on. Okay. Like just be like, you just send them a screenshot of the contraction counter is all you really have to do. Like just anything. And they called us and they were like, that was hilarious. Hello, Troy and Alicia. I just want to I want to talk to you guys. And like, you know, I want to talk to you, like, see how you're feeling. And I could talk to her. I could talk to her. I was just pacing when I would have a contraction. So I would talk for a few minutes and then like pace. And after being on the phone with them for a little while, they're like, yeah, I think that you should probably go to the hospital, but take a shower, eat something, go. Troy was like, I can't do any of that. We had no food in the house. So we had to like leave the house to get us food, and just, he didn't feel comfortable doing that. It was really funny.
Oh.
So we went, we didn't eat, we came, and then we booked it to the hospital. We left at 9.
Okay.
We were meeting the doula at 10.
Okay. We're 5-6 hours in now. Yes.
Yes. Of just like light. I still didn't think I was in labor. Like I still didn't think that I was having a baby. Like how could I go from nothing to having a baby in like 6 hours? It just, it didn't feel real. So I don't remember getting in the car being like, you're ready to have a baby. I just felt like we were just like going to dinner.
Yes.
But I also don't remember the ride at all because I was in so much pain because I couldn't, I knew the baby was low because I couldn't bend over to say goodbye to my dog.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't get that motion. So I arrive at the hospital and, you know, they're like, oh, do you want to check? Should we check you? I'm like, get in there. Like, yes, tell me. Like, dude, I feel like the head's like coming out at this point. And it wasn't. I was like -2. -2. Is that when it's lower?
I don't know. I actually don't know those numbers.
Yeah. I was low. She was low, but only 2 centimeters. So they tried to send me home. They were like, first time mom, 2 centimeters, it's going to be hours. And we discussed it for a minute and said, you know, we're already here. Let's just stay.
Yeah. Good on you.
That's, I don't know, 11 o'clock. By like 11:30, I'm 7 centimeters. Like so much pressure. Eventually my water broke on its own.
How'd that go? What was that experience for you?
Ooh, the weirdest feeling in the world.
Such
Definitely
a weird
weird. I was like, whoa. That wasn't normal. That was my water breaking because there was no mucus plug, nothing. And then so my water broke, and then I had the urge to like run to the bathroom, so I ran to the bathroom, and I guess my mucus plug fell out on my run.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And Troy was like, oh, what was that? And someone just like came in and like scooped it up. It's like, and she's like, nothing. And then I think some of my mucus plug also was like in the bathroom, and Troy took a picture of it and like had to show me. He's like, look what you left on the toilet. I'm like, bro, you have no idea. Like, you have no idea. So then my water broke, and then within like 15 or 20 minutes I was pushing. And I don't know how long I actually pushed, but it felt like 5 minutes. It really only felt like 5 minutes.
I'm sure it was super fast. Yeah.
I wasn't even on the bed for most of my labor because I wasn't comfortable. Like I couldn't get up on the bed because it was very uncomfortable for me. So I finally got like half my body on the bed, and I was pushing on the side, was like side pushing. And then all of a sudden my body said, I got to get on hands and knees.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm getting on my hands and knees. And everyone was like, okay. So, you know, we moved on the monitors and I got on my hands and knees, and my memory says I pushed like one time, and I said, was that the head? And they said, yup. And I said, okay. And she just went, whoop. And she
pushed
came
her
flying out. And she came flying out. She was also a little early and very small. She was only 5 pounds, 13 ounces. So I know that was definitely part of the reason why my birth was, in my opinion, easy. Like, I couldn't have asked for a better birth.
Yeah.
That was you know, honestly, they tried to put an IV in me, which I asked for to not have one, and they insisted, and I just was in labor and didn't feel like arguing, and that hurt more than my labor did, I think.
Mm.
Which is funny because they say that, but I was like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And literally, her trying to poke my arm hurt more than me giving birth. I didn't
Yeah.
care. I was like up and like ready to like mom within
Yes.
2 hours of giving birth. It was pretty crazy. Pretty
It's
crazy.
I love it. I love this story. I'm so happy for you, especially like the stories that I hear on a daily basis, and now you know, and like it almost makes you feel like you don't want to share the story because you know it's not what everyone else's stories are, but like it was not.
Yeah.
I don't think it was luck. I think that there were a lot of things at play that were subconscious, really. I don't think it was luck.
Yeah.
And like I know women who have had smaller babies than you who also like were induced, who had like all these other things still. So it's not necessarily about that, but I do agree. I think that she shot out because she was small. Cause like
Yeah.
my son was, I had, you know, unmedicated birth and everything, but my son was 8 pounds and like I had to work to get that boy out.
Yeah.
It wasn't like super long either because I was on hands and knees and stuff, but like I pushed him out and he went back in. I had to push him out again. So it definitely takes a little bit more work, but as far as like the progress goes, I think it was just like your body knew what to do and you weren't afraid. Like you weren't afraid, and
Yeah.
that makes a big difference. It really
Yeah.
does.
I was not afraid.
No.
I'm still afraid to be a mom.
I think it's
It's
warranted.
scarier. It's
It's
scarier.
warranted. But like, okay, so this kind of gets us to where you were talking about. So you said like you had a great birth
Hmm.
and then you had to be a mother. And that is where it's a lot harder and like you can kind of there are things that you can't prepare for with birth, but like it kind of is birth. Like it is. That's what it is, right? Motherhood is a whole different ball game, and especially when you're trying to breastfeed. And I
Hmm.
know you had a special start to breastfeeding, so if you could talk about your start, that would be good.
I had really ambitious goals to breastfeed. Um, I just wanted to use my body in the way that it was intended to be using, with the caveat that like if it didn't work, I was okay with formula. I just
Yeah.
wanted to feed my baby, but I had goals to
Yes.
breastfeed.
Mm-hmm.
But I never got to the point in my research and preparation to prepare myself for breastfeeding. I was like
Mm-hmm.
still in the like, okay, I got to prepare myself for birth. And that's where, you know, I wish there was a course on being a parent because it starts as soon as the baby comes out,
Mm-hmm.
and not birth. Because that, oh my God, it was like, I'll never have to think about birthing a baby again.
Yes.
But I did really struggle to breastfeed. Like, and I still don't know exactly what it was, if it was just she was too small, or you know, we heard the term lazy be
Mhm.
thrown out a couple times, that she
Oh
just like
God.
wasn't super into like latching and actively working for the milk. You know, we took her to a chiropractor.
Mm-hmm.
We were worried about tightness in her latch. She wasn't tongue
Mm-hmm.
tied or anything like that. I worked with a doula who came to our house like once or twice a week, specifically to help me feed the baby, because we had to syringe feed her for like the first at least week. So we were syringe feeding her 10 milliliters at a time.
How did
And
that? Just because someone might not know, like how
mm,
exactly do you do that? Like, what's the process?
yeah, so it's an oral syringe, like you would give a baby like Tylenol.
Mm.
Um, and I was pumping and then putting the milk in the syringe. It was a two-person job actually, because one of us had to hold the baby
Mm.
and the other one had to administer the oral syringe with a finger. So like basically
Yes.
stimulating as if it was a breast.
Yeah.
So we did that every, I don't know, hour to 2 hours for the first week of her life. And that was hard.
Yes.
But I still kept trying to breastfeed because I had a goal to do it. I wasn't giving up and I was
Mm-hmm.
producing a lot of milk. I was
Yeah.
like, well, my body says I can do this, so like let's keep trying. And then one day, I think I saw it on Instagram, like a side laying position.
Mm-hmm.
And the doula was like, football. These might not mean anything to any women that haven't experienced this, but they're telling you to hold your baby in like
Certain.
such a specific way. And they're like, no, like this and like this and like this. And none of it was working for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day I just laid down on my side and I put the baby next to me, and that was the beginning. Like it worked.
Yes.
And she might have been 3 weeks old at that point. We were like bottle feeding, syringe feeding, and the breastfeeding just wasn't working, but I was so determined, and then it worked.
Yeah.
And now I could like walk around the house and cook dinner and hold her and breastfeed. Like it's the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah.
And my goal originally was only for 6 months, and now
7 months. Whoop, whoop.
now she's 7 months, and I will do it for at least a year. But now I'm like, I'm open to breastfeeding for longer.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Really important pause point, because once again, what I'm hearing from you are a couple of things that are really important. So the biggest one is that you didn't know what you were doing, because no one does when they're a mother, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you had a determination in you that you were going to breastfeed your baby. And you were open to formula, because who's going to starve their child? Nobody. Right. Nobody's going to do that. But you were like, no, this is something that I'm determined to do. And you sought help. So you got lactation consultants, you had the doula, husband is there, mm-hmm. two people are feeding this baby. Like, y'all could have easily just said it didn't work, let's give her a bottle of formula, right? Like, you could have mm-hmm. just did that, and you didn't. And even down to like once, I don't know, I just felt like when it was all going on and I'm watching, I just was like so amazed at the determination of two parents who really had no reason to keep doing this. Like, y'all fell into parenthood. It wasn't like you were wanting to be parents forever and like all these other things. And like for two people to just like work together to do this and have doulas coming and continuously trying to feed this baby breast milk, it was like really admirable. As someone who, I mean, I have 2 kids, I breastfed them, but like me watching 2 newbies just like rocking it like that, I know it was hard for you, but like so many people give up and you didn't. And that's really important. And I think like anyone listening, breastfeeding is not going to be like super easy for everyone. In fact, it's hard for most of us. Even as like a second time mom, having breastfed the first time, this was a new baby. He didn't take pacifiers. Like, there were things that were different. Yep. And there were still like sore nipples in the beginning, even though I had done this before. Well, these nipples hadn't been feeding for 3 years at that point. So like they had to go through that process all over again. And so there's things in the beginning of breastfeeding that are really hard. And if you go into it knowing that it's probably going to be hard, but I'm going to give it my best effort, you may find, like, I hate to even say success, but you'll find that it does get easier over time. If it's meant to be. Like, of course, right. If the baby, if you have low milk supply and like all these other whatever outliers, of course, like it's going to be hard still, but typically every person has a hard time first. Like every mother, every baby, it's like tough for like the first 2 weeks. And then after that, it gets a little bit easier. And then on top of that, you have like this new person who's like this, like they got no head control. They're like, what is going on? There's like, they don't even know what's happening. Like they can't even see. Like they can only see like this far. And like you're trying to get your boob in their mouth and they're frantic because they're hungry. And like, it's chaotic. And it's chaotic for every new baby, every new mother, like every time for a mother of multiples too, as a mother of multiples. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is like, I just love that when they were giving you advice about positions and stuff, like you would try it, but then it clicked for you. Like your intuition kicked in and you're like, okay, I'm going to lay down with this baby.
Yeah.
Right. So like
just sitting up wasn't working. Like no matter how they put the baby in my arms and positioned my breast, it did not work.
Yes. So like you being that mother, like leaning into your intuition, it paid off. And it
Yeah.
was, you had all these people around, professionals, done this before, giving you advice, and they were helpful. Like they were helpful with the syringes. Would you figure that out on your own? The syringe and the finger?
Mm-mm.
No.
Nope.
But then your intuition kicks in and you're like, okay, I've taken this information in. It's not working. What do I think might work? Right? And
Yeah.
then it worked. And now you guys
And
have this.
that's how I mother, I think. I think that's how I parent.
Mm-hmm. Let's get into
And
it.
yeah,
How's it going?
it's chaotic. My kid
Yes.
doesn't sleep. And like that's the thing that I'm obsessed with right now because she's amazing. She's
Mm-hmm.
great. She eats great. She's happy. She is hitting all her milestones. She's crawling like, but she doesn't sleep, which means I don't sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Which for breastfed mothers, like
Yes.
this happens. And it
Mm-hmm.
took me, I don't know, 6 months to actually realize that. And it was through talking to other people who are like, yeah, it's normal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's normal. It's fine. So what am I going to do? How am I going to adapt to that? And it was sleeping with my baby because it was much easier to just latch her onto me next to her than get out of bed, disrupt everyone, wake up my husband. Why are you awake? Go back to sleep. You can't help here. You can't help here. Go to sleep.
You got useless nipples. Get out of here.
Which, oh my God, Destiny, I have a theory that men, and you might know this, we're supposed to be able to lactate. Men are supposed to be able to help us feed our children, right? Why
They
else do they
can.
have nipples?
I don't know. I mean, I know that they can create a substance if stimulated, like with medication and stuff. I don't know.
Great, let's do that. I want them to come to my OB appointments and get their medication. And when my baby comes out, my partner is also able to feed the child. Anyway.
We need to do a study on that.
Yeah, let's put an asterisk and follow up with that thought that I have. So he sleeps in the guest room. My baby was sleeping with me in our room, which when 2 years ago I would have said, hell no, is a baby ever? My child is not sleeping in my bed. That is my bed. That is me, my husband's bed. No, wrong. Me, my husband's bed is me and Nyla's bed now.
Yes.
But she's too active. So I'm like, what do I do? What do I do?
Mm-hmm.
What did you do? Des, what did you do with your kid?
Yeah.
She was in a bed on the floor.
Both my kids are on the floor. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, she's up now. She's 5, but yeah.
Yeah. Other moms, she can't sleep in a crib. I can't breastfeed her in a crib. And I can't transfer her to the ground. So our only option was a floor on the bed.
Mm-hmm. A bed on the floor.
A floor on the bed. Oh my. How are you, Alicia?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Tired. I'm mom brain.
Yes, a floor on the bed.
So now instead of sleeping in my own bed, I'm sleeping in my baby's bed, which makes me feel like I'm following through with something that is obviously very important to me.
Yeah.
It's like having my space. But I am adapting. I'm adapting to being a mother. I'm adapting to working from home full time and being a mother.
Do you have someone coming in? Or are you just taking on this by yourself?
I have someone who comes for 3 hours a week, usually on Tuesday morning.
Okay, yeah. So no, this is just you. Okay.
Yeah, this is just me. And like originally I was expected to go in the office before I had a baby. And then I had a baby and I was like, I'm not going into an office. I'm raising my baby. Yeah. And I can't, she's breastfed. So you're telling me that I have to choose between breastfeeding my child and going into the office. I'm going to choose to stay home and breastfeed my child. So that's what I'm doing. And no, I don't have any help. So it's tough. And that's why I have a goal of getting her to nap because I need time for myself. And it's not even time for myself. It's time to get a paycheck at this point because I need a paycheck to be able to take care of my family because we can't do it on one income. No one can. I mean, you can, but we can't.
Well, we had to. I was going to say we had to make some serious life changes in order to make this happen. But yeah, it's not easy, and even still now, it's it's a challenge. Like, we've sacrificed a lot in order to make it happen, but I got to this point where I just couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't imagine like being away from my kids, but I did it.
Yeah.
You know, I was a mom who worked for, I have a 5-year-old, so I worked for the first 4.5 years of her life, and we did it, and it was hard, but I did get to the same point that you are getting to very quickly. That it wasn't sustainable for mental health, for the health of our family. It wasn't for us. But
yeah, I can't even wrap my head around it. I have a hard time keeping up with my house, my relationship, and my mental health working from home. So adding a 2-hour commute and interacting with evil people all day, like, not worth it. When I was 36 weeks pregnant, the plan was to send my baby to daycare 3 days a week and to go to work. And then I actually had a baby and took care of a baby and bonded with a baby. And then I decided that it's not even an option. Like, I just say, like, I can't do it because it's not an option for me right now. Like, I can't even wrap my head around it. So I'm not going to.
Yeah.
And I think I read one day that it was something like, why would I pay someone to raise my child? I'm not doing it. Yeah. I'm not doing it. I want to raise my own child.
I love this conversation so much because it is a difficult one. And I think it kind of touches, and I'm going to be very delicate here trying to like approach this topic, because there's kind of like a thing that happens, right, with mothers. And I think it's because mothers are so stressed and they're overwhelmed and they're sensitive. They're like frayed wires because of how society has forced them to be. Okay. We're not going to talk about why society is doing this, but they're forced them into this situation where they're tightly wound and they're like ready to pop at anything. Right. And so there are mothers who working mothers, right? They're full-time working mothers and they're doing it. And I don't know a working mom who can honestly say like 100% that like she feels, especially a working mom with an infant, that she feels great going to work and having a kid at home. But if you say what you said in front of a group of working moms, they will feel as though it's an attack. And it's the same thing for formula feeding. If you say, I want to breastfeed my baby because it's the most important thing to me, they're going to be attacked, right? There's a lot of like offense that happens when it really has nothing to do with that. Like, each one of us should be able to feel whatever we feel for how we feel for our family, and it be okay. But it's turned into, even for birth, you can't share your birth story with everyone because they've had these like horribly traumatic births. And if you say my birth was easy, they're like, how dare you say that? Like, you know what I mean? You were lucky. I almost died. Like, all of these offenses. And it really doesn't have anything to do with birth, formula, working. It has to do with how stressed out and overwhelmed mothers are. They are emotionally unequipped to handle seeing other people like do things that they personally feel ashamed about. They feel ashamed of these things. And if you say this isn't going to work for me, they're like, but it works for me, so it should work for you. It's like, no. What works for you works for you. It doesn't work for you. Let's be honest. Let's be real honest. It doesn't work for you.
That's the thing is, like, I don't want to be a miserable person.
No, and you shouldn't be a miserable person.
I spent 7 years in corporate being a miserable person. I want to be a happy mother more than I want to be a miserable, successful woman. For what? Like, for what?
They can replace you at that job.
Exactly. Like, I've been that person and it got me absolutely nowhere. And I'm noticing a pattern with my company now, and just corporate in general, is that they're going to hire the single person over the parent. And like, my kid comes first, my husband comes first, my job comes last. And I don't think that I'll be able to find a culture in a company that's gonna meet those needs. So that's me deciding that like those 3 things are more important than a boss bitch mentality that I thought I was gonna have when I was 22 years old, starting in my industry and like going into work. That's not what I want now. That's not what I want. That's not what I want. It's not what I want.
Yeah,
And
it's
motherhood has changed the biology and the chemistry in my brain, and now this is what I want.
yes.
And I don't want that. That's not worth the stress.
I do feel like it's important because there is a major mentality shift that happens in motherhood, and it like the age group that we are is important, like this age range, because we had this mentality for a reason. Like we didn't just like become kids or and then go into adulthood and like just stumble into the mentality that we needed to be super successful career people, right? Like this was drilled into us at like our age. It was like everything we saw on TV, our parents like, you're going to go to college and girls can do everything boys can do, girl power, like all these things. And it was very much like ignore maternal instincts, ignore femininity, ignore anything that is like actually comfortable to you as a woman or as a future woman, and just be like the boys, right? Like you can do anything a man can do. You want to make the same amount of money as a man and all these things, which I'm not knocking someone who genuinely feels like that as a mother, because that's important. Because before motherhood, I think most women our age feel like that. In fact, they make fun of women sometimes who are like, I just want to get married. I just want to like be a mother. Like they would actually make fun of those women and be like, well, she's not doing anything with her life. She just wants to get married. But then when you actually do get married and you do have a kid and become a mother, you're like, what am I thinking? What am I doing? Like, why am I doing all this stuff when actually the most important thing is my family? The only thing that I actually care about, like lose sleep over, is my family more than anything else. And the only thing I'm really, really willing to sacrifice everything for is my family, my children. So I feel like most women are trained, brainwashed, I call it brainwashed, into that mentality. And then they have like a brick wall when they get to being a mother and they're like, surprise, none of that stuff matters. And you're going to be miserable for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Unless you get off this ship. Unless you get off this ship, it's a sinking ship. I don't know the exact stats, but I do know that it's like 60% of mothers have like postpartum something, right? And I can guess why, especially like this age group.
Oh,
right?
Did we talk about my postpartum
No, but like
diagnosis?
no, but I mean I could guess like because it's just so common. It's so common, especially for first time mothers.
My postpartum anxiety diagnosis came the moment that they were telling me that I had to go back to work full time in the office.
Yeah. So is it really postpartum anxiety, right? Like, is it just anxiety?
Yeah, because I have all these expectations to live up to, because I'm supposed to be home and be here 100% for my family, but I'm also supposed to be there 100% for a business that doesn't give a shit about me. It's literally just a paycheck for me right now. So like my mentality going into my job every day is way different now than it was.
Yeah.
Before I was a mother. It doesn't matter because I have to do it because I need a paycheck and I have this job. I do it, but I do it like it's a chore I have to do to be able to move on with my. It's a chore.
Yeah, there was a time, and it's still happening in college, I'm sure, but like I believed wholeheartedly that I needed to pick a career that I was going to enjoy, like find joy, be happy to go to work every day. Like it was just drilled in. You want to find something that you're happy to work every day. And I can say before kids too, like I never felt that way going to work where like I 100% felt so much joy. There were times when like I definitely enjoyed going to work, but it was never fulfilling and it was never touching the fulfillment that I feel as a mother. What I will say is to anyone listening that we're not saying quit your job, okay? But what I will say is start to think, if you have the opportunity, if you're not pregnant yet, start to think about how you might be able to rearrange your life in some way, like whether you can try to start to work part-time or like figure out another avenue that you could jump into so that it is more flexible for motherhood, because you need a lot of flexibility in motherhood. And even if you're not breastfeeding, kids get sick. And that was a big thing for me that we were running into as two working parents, was not only daycare, but like when your child gets sick, someone needs to stay home with them. And it's a blessing to have grandparents around. But actually, if you have a child who is sick, you don't want them to go around their grandparents. Like, you don't want them to be, so that's out, right? To send them with grandparents. So then it's daycare. Well, kids can't go to daycare sick. You don't want someone else to send their sick kid to daycare, right? So like they have to stay home. And if both of you work, you only have so many days off in a calendar year. And like what you'll find is you'll end up cutting into like vacation time and stuff to make up for, these losses. And then a huge one is maternity leave. So a lot of times with work, like certain jobs, you may not have any paid maternity leave, let's be honest. But if you do, it's very minimal. And then you have to cut into your PTO if you have that. A lot of times you don't, but if you have PTO. So let's say that you give birth, you took the maternity leave, you use all your PTO so that you can still get paid so that you can stay home as long as possible. Then when you go to work, you don't have time off. Okay. You don't have any time off to take. So each one of those, I'm sure, Alicia, like you're feeling all of the stressors, because it's true. You go into the job with no time off to begin with because you had to use it all to stay home for as long as possible. Now your kid is sick. They're in a daycare. They're sick and you got to stay home. You guys are like not fighting, but like stressed out. Well, I took off last time, or, whatever. You have to like do all these things. And it's just so stressful. And I don't know a system that actually works.
No. What I just kept hearing was that like my work is not fulfilling me, but having to do that every day is also taking away from like the joy and fulfillment that I am finding from motherhood.
Yes. 1000%.
Because it's sucking the life out of me. Yes, which I obviously I recognize it, and that's why my body and brain are saying like, I cannot do
get
this.
Out.
Yeah, get out. Get out. Because I also don't have, like, my husband's amazing, and when he's home, he's 100% in. But when he's not home, which is often, it's just me, and it's really hard to like work, feed my baby, and then like remember to feed and bathe myself as well.
Yeah, it's so hard to pour from an empty cup. Like you're pouring, and then there's nothing left, and you try to find the time to fill it, but with what? Right? Like that's the other big thing. So, oh my gosh, we could talk forever about this, but I think it's an important discussion because these are the things that you run into. And it's not even like about complaining. It's like, if you hear this stuff, don't be like, motherhood, it's not for me. It's a beautiful thing to be a mother. What is not for you is the system of motherhood that's set up right now, right? Motherhood is beautiful. It is so fulfilling. It'll change you for the best. But at the same time, the system around it, if you don't have the opportunity to like fix it, you're going to have a hard time. And that's why so many women are having a hard time. And so many parents, because I'm sure your husband's having his own struggles, and they're different struggles, but he's having his own. So it's like parents, they're having this pull between life and their family. And it really shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, his is different. He has like guilt that he's not here to help.
Yeah.
And that the burden's on me all day long.
Yeah.
Which it is.
Y'all both have to work, right? And there's not a good solution right now.
We have no one to help. Like, he gets home and I'm like, just take this baby. Like, I just don't want to touch her anymore. Like,
yes.
I just touch her all day. I'm going to go take a shower.
Yes.
And go away from you.
Right. And then it ends up being like, I don't want to look at you. I don't want to look at the person that looks like you. Yeah.
And it's
So
not even because I like don't want to look at him. It's
no.
just like I dealt with jerks at work all day, this baby, and like I got nothing left. I got nothing left. You
Yes.
want me to pick what I want to eat tonight? Can't. Sorry. You have to pick for me.
Yes. Oh gosh. Okay. Any last words?
I don't know. Did you have any other fun questions to ask?
No, I think we did an excellent job. Thank you for doing this.
You're welcome.
Thank you for tuning into The Rooted Mama. I hope today's episode left you feeling inspired, supported, and a little more rooted in your own motherhood journey. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with another mama or mama-to-be. Remember, motherhood is a journey best shared. So let's keep growing together. Until next time, stay strong, stay supported, and stay deeply rooted.